Top Gun: Maverick ended up becoming the #1 movie of 2022. Hardly a surprise if you've seen it, right? The sequel came after 36 whole years, and to be honest, seeing Tom Cruise as the pilot again made the nostalgia hit even harder. But aside from being amazing on the screen, Tom Cruise's best moment happened behind the scenes on set. Stay tuned as we discuss that and more. First up, Tom Cruise's ultimate moment happened behind the scenes on Maverick. Top Gun: Maverick's stunt coordinator wasn't happy with how Miles Teller handled his medical emergency on set. The actor's response showed he was just as fierce as his roles. Teller played Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw. For the 35-year-old actor, working with Tom Cruise has been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Miles developed a deep friendship with the veteran actor and picked up a lot of wisdom in the process. To give just one example, he told Pink Villa how impressed he was with Cruise's attention to detail. Teller went into more detail about how Cruise's skill as a pilot and genuine leadership had brought the cast together. Being an actor in Maverick is very challenging and risky, considering they had to do many of their stunts. For instance, Teller experienced a health crisis following a fighter jet flight. He ended up with a fever and itchy hives all over his body. An analysis of his blood yielded results that were more than unexpected. He had flame retardant, pesticides, and jet fuel in his blood. It appears that this condition is common among pilots. Fuel can be absorbed through the skin, the lungs, or the digestive system. Some of the fuel's components can even enter the bloodstream, resulting in Teller's symptoms. Cruise questioned Teller the next day to find out what had happened the day before. He didn't flinch when an enthusiastic Teller tried to wow him by saying that he had jet fuel in his blood. The stunt king gave an epic response to him by saying, "I was born with it, kid," followed by, "Stars talk about how it was working with Tom Cruise on Maverick." Cruise and the cast of newcomers brought charm and emotion to the movie, especially when it came to the strained relationship between Maverick and the son of his late best friend, Rooster. Cast members have said that working with Cruise, who has been in the business for 40 years, made the filming process go more smoothly. With a man who's packing decades of experience, there's bound to be something you can learn from him that might set you up for life. Lieutenant Hangman Saracen, played by Glenn Powell, remarked that Tom Cruise had built together their entire flight training program based on his experience in the first Top Gun movie. He further said that in the first film, they tossed actors up there in an effort to get shots, but they ended up feeling sick, passing out, or looking like limp dolls, and so none of the footage in question could have been used. Powell added that this is something only Tom Cruise can ask for after 40 years of doing it at the top level, so that they get to look cool in the back of those F-18s. Miles Teller said that Cruise has been doing it for so long and at such a high level that he'd simply sit back and observe the stunt king. Tom may have made the movie amazing with his phenomenal stunts, but the team involved with filming and directing the movie were just as epic. Moving on to how Top Gun: Maverick took viewers inside the fighter jets. Joseph Kosinski, who directed the aerial sequences for Paramount's Top Gun: Maverick, set out to recreate what it was like to be a Navy fighter pilot. He talked about how it's clear that actors act differently when they're really in the middle of all that action. The filmmakers were able to create that excitement by putting special cameras inside the jet cockpits to film the actors while they were on board. Because it was so successful, director Joseph Kosinski and cinematographer Claudio Miranda are planning to employ similar technology in their upcoming untitled Apple racing movie starring Brad Pitt. Miranda, who won an Academy Award for his work on Life of Pi and has been working with Kosinski since 2010's Tron Legacy, adds that he consulted with Sony on the early development of its Venice digital cinematography camera, which was used to shoot Maverick. More recently, he collaborated with Sony on the Rialto extension system, which basically detaches the sensor from the camera. Both of these projects were used to film Maverick. He says that there were 6 such cameras within the jets, each with a very lightweight spherical lens, and that the small device could be stuck anywhere while the main body was linked to something else. Can't say we're not shocked and amazed at how far technology has come and the fact that it's just going to keep getting better. Next up, the visuals. Kosinski said that when the idea was first pitched to the Navy, they said that the team would have a hard time time finding place for one camera, but they ended up fitting 6 in there in the end. Claudio and the rest of the camera crew worked closely with the Navy to figure out where all of this equipment could be hidden. An extensive amount of discussion was required to develop a system that would be secure in the event of an ejection, while withstanding the high speeds and G-forces that would be experienced. Miranda went on to say that they wanted to capture all that action on camera as much as possible. He did give credit to the VFX crew because, in all honesty, he said that they obviously didn't take down any planes. The way it all worked was that the actor would be in charge of turning on the cameras while in the air, with a Navy pilot at the controls of the jet. Miranda explained that if you pressed a tiny button, all 6 cameras would start rolling, and as soon as the cue was given, the actors would recite their lines along with everything else that was rehearsed on the ground. After each flight, the team would assess the take and decide if more were needed. The fewer takes needed for one shot, the better, as it helps cut down on the production cost. Plus, we highly doubt that the actors want to experience bone-crushing G-forces again and again. Followed by, Kosinski wants to employ this technology for his Formula One movie. To give the spectator the experience of what it's like to drive one of these fantastic vehicles, Kosinski said that they planned to use a similar technique to that employed in Top Gun Maverick when filming the actors in their Formula One movie. Only 20 people throughout the world have the privilege to experience that each week. Jerry Bruckheimer of Maverick and Chad Oman are part of the production team. Along with Pitt's backup plan, 7-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton is also on board to produce. The camera setup still needs more preparation before production can begin. According to Kosinski, when it comes to racing, lightness is the ultimate key. He further said that they need to come up with a new means of capturing the shots so that the cameras are much smaller and lighter, more like the automobiles themselves, but still capture a very high-quality filmic image. Kosinski explained that every kilogram is like a tenth of a second on a lap. They don't want to bog down the automobile with too much equipment, as that would ruin the ride for everyone. The film script is currently being written, and shooting is scheduled to begin in the latter half of 2023. Moving on to fans' reactions to Cruise's Top Gun Maverick. People's reactions to the movie were explosive, and the vast majority of them liked everything about the sequel. Many said that Cruise was perfect in the movie, and others gave it an overall score of 10. Indeed, the actor made his long-awaited return with the Top Gun sequel after 36 years. Fans praised the 59-year-old actor for his charming performance and his incredible stunt work in the movie. One fan said that Top Gun Maverick was, hands down, 2022's finest film. It was an example of a well-executed sequel. They even guaranteed that no one would be disappointed if they saw it on an IMAX screen or on the largest screen available. Another user tweeted that they've said it before and they'll say it again. Top Gun Maverick was an incredible film. They also added that this is the one movie everyone must watch this spring. One user was so impressed that they said it was the best movie ever, and that there was a stretch of Top Gun Maverick where they were sure it was the best movie they'd ever seen. Another person echoing these sentiments added that it was one of their all-time favorite films, not just the best of the year. They felt that it was exciting to the point of tears and laughter, with content that will leave one grinning ear to ear. Finally, will there be a Top Gun 3? Even though Top Gun Maverick was the most popular movie of 2022, Paramount hasn't said anything about Top Gun 3. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer said that Cruise might be too busy to make a third one in December 2022. He shared the news with THR, saying that at the moment, his attention is fully on filming Mission Impossible 8, and that as soon as he's done, they'll talk. Similar to the success of the sequel, it will likely depend on the quality of the story they tell. In December 2022, director Joseph Kosinski mentioned to Deadline that the potential was there for a sequel. He still thinks that at the end of this sequel, Maverick has some fight left in him. The man isn't ready to settle down yet. Top Gun 3 doesn't have a release date yet, and it hasn't even been confirmed that it will be made. We really do hope that we won't have to wait another 36 years for the third installment, and that's not just because Tom will be 89 by then. Still, Bruckheimer implied that he could be too preoccupied with other projects to work on a new Top Gun film at the moment. Even if the sequel were confirmed soon, it would be unlikely that filming would wrap up in 2023. The summer of 2024 is the soonest we can realistically hope to see the third installment installment. And even that is probably optimistic. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Top Gun: Maverick? And do you think there will be a Top Gun 3? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.